If you're stuck in self-doubt, inconsistency, or self-sabotage, this video will walk you through the exact steps that you need to rewire your mind and build belief that lasts. The reason that I wanted to create this video is because belief is something that I always used to lack. I used to lack belief when I was growing up, and that lack of belief followed me into my 20s. I didn't believe that I was capable of achieving anything in life. I didn't believe I could become a better version of me. I didn't believe that I could build a business. I didn't believe that I was smart. And that lack of belief led into me doing negative things for myself. And them negative things were reinforcing that lack of belief that I had in myself, because I didn't even believe that I could make it past the weekend, let alone believe in myself to do anything else in life. I used to look at other people and think that they were different, that these people that believed in themselves, that were confident, were just born that way. But everything changed for me when I realized that belief is not something that you are born with. It is something that can be built. And I've built this belief in my own life. I've proved time and time again to myself that belief is not something that you're born with. It's something that you build. And that belief has built over time. And by me building that belief, I've gone from someone that was going out every single week, drinking, doing drugs and letting himself down, to becoming a high performance coach that has built a multiple six-figure coaching business. I've transformed hundreds of lives. I've run a 100-mile ultra. I've run a sub 3-hour marathon. I've become a paid public speaker. I've built a social media following, and I have my own podcasts. I didn't even believe in myself to make YouTube videos like this once upon a time. But when I realized that belief is not just something that special people have and you can build it, my life started to change. And what we're going to uncover in this video is exactly how you can build undeniable self-belief. So what is self-belief anyway? Self-belief is just a belief that you hold about yourself, about your self-worth, about your capabilities and your potential. And that's why it's so important that we understand what a belief is. Because a belief is just a feeling of certainty that you have about something. It's essentially thoughts that you believe that are true. They're not actually true. They're not a fact. It's just a thought or a feeling of certainty you have about something that you think is true. And these beliefs control the way that you think, the way that you feel, the way that you act in your life. Let me break that down. Your beliefs create your thoughts create your feelings create your behaviors, and your behaviors produce your results. So if we want to get better results in life, we need to start changing the underlying belief that you've got that's holding you back. Because let's say you believe that you are not capable of success. That will then produce negative thoughts. Who are you to step out your comfort zone? Who are you to try this thing? You're not worthy. You're not capable. You're not good enough. Them thoughts will create certain feelings like anxiety, like doubt, like worry, like fear. Off the back of them feelings, you're not going to behave the way that you want to behave. You're either not going to take action, or you're going to take an action that doesn't benefit you. And then guess what happens? That produces negative results. Let's look at it as an example. Let's say you want to start posting content on social media, but you have a belief that you are not confident enough to post that. That belief is going to put thoughts into your mind. Don't post that. No one cares. No one's going to like that. You're going to get no views. Guess what? You start to feel unmotivated. You lack the desire. So you don't end up taking the action, which means you don't get the results that you want. Now, yes, it seems negative, and beliefs can go against you. But the positive thing is, if these beliefs can go against you, they make you think and feel and behave in a way that doesn't suit you. We can also build empowering beliefs that's going to make you think better, feel better, behave better, and get the results that you want to get. And I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to do that. Now that we know that beliefs shape everything, we want to know how they are formed. And beliefs are formed through 5 different ways. The first is repetition. So a repetition of a thought over and over and over again. If when you was younger, you always got told you were shy. He's such a shy kid. She's such a shy kid. you're shy, you're shy, you're shy. It's been repeated so much. You've ended up repeating it so much to yourself, you started to believe it to be true. Remember, a belief doesn't necessarily mean it's a fact. It's just something that we believe to be true. So if you're constantly repeating a thought over and over and over again, especially backed with emotion, it will form a belief, or on the other side, break a belief. If you're constantly saying to yourself, I'm unconfident, I'm not good, I can't do this, I'm not capable, and you fall into that trap of repeating it to yourself over and over again, you will reinforce a belief, you'll build a new belief, or you'll break a belief. The second thing is authority. So someone that we look up to, someone we trust, someone we admire, told us something and we believed it to be true. This especially happens when we was kids. Someone might have said to you that you'll never be good at something. A teacher says you will never make it. So we instantly believe it to be true. Or when we've got older, someone might have said to us, you are capable of doing that thing. Whether that be a teacher, whether that be a coach, or someone that you respect of authority and you believed it to be true. The third thing is evidence. So collecting evidence for the belief. If you believe that you are not worthy of success, and every time you try to do something that will bring you success and you fail at that thing, you're essentially collecting evidence in your own mind to support and suggest that you are not worthy of success. Or if you feel like you are unlovable and you don't feel loved by people and you keep trying to get love and it's not coming back to you, you're building evidence to essentially build this belief. The next one could be, I am confident. Just saying to yourself, I am confident, I am confident, I am confident is not going to make you confident. But if you build up evidence to suggest that you're confident by things that you've done in your life, you can reinforce and build a belief. Now, on the flip side of it, you can also break a belief. If you build up enough evidence to suggest that that belief no longer serves you, that is no longer true, you'll be able to break away from it. The fourth thing is experience. So actually going out and creating an experience to build essentially more evidence for the belief. So if you want to believe that you are good at running, you've actually got to go out there and improve and progress on your running. The more you improve, the more you progress, you are going to build more evidence because you've experienced exactly what it is that you are trying to build a belief around. And then the fifth thing is emotional intensity. Now, there's two different ways that this can work. It could be a one-time experience. Let's say when you was younger, you got up in class and you started to speak in front of everyone and you couldn't get your words out and everyone started laughing. That can be such an emotional experience for you, right? So you created a belief. It's I shouldn't speak up for myself. It's unsafe to speak up. And ever since that moment, all in your life, you've never been able to speak up for yourself. Or it could be a repetition of emotion over and over and over again. So if you keep saying to yourself something very positive, you keep practicing gratitude and you want to build a belief that you're grateful in life and you keep saying things you're grateful for and you back emotion with it, your brain starts to release chemicals like dopamine and it triggers it as important. So emotion is also very empowering and very important when we're trying to build or break beliefs. Now, with all of that said, why it's so important to understand these 5 things is so we can start reinforcing and building positive, empowering beliefs that are going to serve you. Now, when we reinforce these, when we repeat these, what is actually happening is something called neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to adapt, to rewire and change its structure by forming new neural connections. So just like training a muscle in the gym, right? If you keep training the muscle, your muscle's going to grow. Same with your brain. If you keep repeating these empowering beliefs, you keep collecting evidence for these empowering beliefs, you keep experiencing these empowering beliefs. Someone tells you or says that they believe in you to achieve the things that you want. Or you go out there and you back emotion with these beliefs that you're trying to build. Your brain starts to change its structure and these beliefs easily start to get built. So it's just reinforcing these things over and over again. This is not woo-woo. It's not just making it up. It's not just shouting at yourself saying, I am confident and I can believe in myself. It's actually putting these steps in practice and in motion. And by doing it over and over again, you turn into the person that it is that you want to be. And we're going to make sure that you understand each and every one of these things so you can start applying it into your life. First one that we're going to do is living the experience so we can start collecting evidence. It's not just about telling yourself you're confident. If you want to become confident, step up and speak up for yourself when you're feeling like you don't want to. If you want to build a belief that you are disciplined, you have to train when you say that you're going to train. If you want to be someone that is healthy, you want to believe that you're healthy, you need to eat in a way that is going to make you healthy. If you want to become smart, you want to build a belief that you're smart, study 30 minutes a day. You actually have to go out there and experience what it is you are trying to build, because the more you experience, the more evidence you collect to suggest that you are that person. Now, one of the best ways that I have found that this works for me is keeping my word. Every time I keep my word, it reinforces I am who I say I am. If I say I'm getting up to train at 5 o'clock, I get up on time and I train. If I say I'm going to study at this time, I study. If I say I'm going to eat that meal, I eat that meal. If I say I'm going to post that piece of content, I post that piece of content. This is evidence that I am who I say that I am. And the more you keep that word with yourself, the more trust you build, the more discipline you build, the more confident you'll be. But the more you look at yourself and say, I am who I say I am. Because on the flip side, if someone was always making promises to you and always breaking these promises, you would look at them like they're a letdown. You'd look at them like they're inconsistent. They don't keep with their word. I don't trust them. And the same thing happens with you. If you don't keep your word consistently, you start looking at yourself like that. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is going out and living the experience and collecting evidence for the new beliefs that you want to hold about yourself. So the action that I want you to take is having a look at your life right now and picking 1 to 3 areas where you want to start keeping your word. What belief do you want to hold about yourself, and what experiences do you need to start staying consistent with so you can collect evidence to suggest that you are that person? And I want you to look at another area of your life and start looking at where am I not keeping my word and where do I need to start keeping my word? Second thing is collecting more evidence through praise and recognition. I can imagine right now that you've achieved and overcome so much in your life already. And some people might even say to you, they can't believe how far you've come in life. Or they praise and recognize you and you don't see it yourself. And the only reason that you don't see it in yourself is because you haven't praised and recognized yourself for all the success that you had. So you've robbed yourself from collecting evidence to suggest that you are the person that you say that you are. A lot of people struggle with imposter syndrome, lack of self-belief. They're not confident. And the reason isn't because they haven't gone out and done the experience of all of these things. It's because they haven't praised and recognized themselves for all of the things that they have done. So when people praise and recognize them, they don't realize their own strength. They can't see it in themselves. And that's not the mistake that we want to make moving forward. So when you're going out and collecting all this new evidence and you're experiencing all these new things, I want you to praise and recognize yourself. But the second action that I want you to take is something that I called an evidence list. Whatever belief you are trying to build right now, I want you to write it at the top of a page. Buy yourself a book or a journal. I've got one over here. And basically all it says at the top is the belief that I want to hold about myself. Whether that is I am confident, I am capable, I am worthy of success. Whoever I want to believe about myself, whatever I want to believe about myself is at the top. And underneath it is everything that I've overcome and achieved in my life. From when I first started my journey up until now. And I've put a massive list of everything that I've achieved and overcome in my life. And I've praised and recognized myself for all of these things. Because all of this is evidence to suggest that I am who I say I am. So no more moving forward, no more achieving, no more overcoming anything if you're not first going to praise and recognize yourself for all that you have done and all that you are going to do. The third thing that we're going to do is rewire your thoughts with empowering language. Just remember what I said earlier. Your beliefs create your thoughts create your feelings create your behaviors, and your behaviors create your results. And if you're consistently using disempowering language that doesn't support the person that you want to be, you will forever feel a way that you don't want to feel. You'll forever behave a way that you don't want to behave, and you'll get results that you don't want in life. So we're going to start shifting your language and start using empowering language to support the belief that you want to hold about yourself. Let's just say I want to hold a belief that I am a high performer. Every time I do something that aligns with being a high performer, whether it's getting up on time, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's closing a deal, sticking to my study, doing anything that in my mind I think supports me being a high performer, I need to use language that supports it. I need to say things like, that's like me. That's just who I am. Well done. I am a high performer. And not just say it. I want you to say it with emotion, because as mentioned earlier, when you say something with emotion, it signals to the brain that this is important. Pay attention to what I'm saying right now. So if I say it with emotion, it will release dopamine through my system, and it signals to the brain, this is important. Let's pay attention to this thought. That's just like me. I'm a high performer with emotion. This is important. This is important. Same on the other side. If you're consistently using disempowering language, I'm a loser, I'm not capable, I'm not confident, you're an idiot, you can't do this, there's no way you can do that. You're signaling to your brain, pay attention, this is important. Let's listen to this, let's build a belief around this. The more you repeat it with emotion, that neuroplasticity, the more you're going to form new neural connections or strengthen old neural connections that is going to empower or strengthen that belief that you don't want or the belief that you do want. We want to make sure that we're shifting your language that supports the person that you want to be. So even if you are confident, you want to say to yourself, when you go do something that shows you're being confident, you step out your comfort zone, you post on social media, you pick up a phone call and you close a deal, or you go have a conversation that you didn't want to have, you say to yourself after, well done. You recognize yourself, you praise yourself, whether you say it in the moment or you write it down of an evening. You say to yourself, good work, well done. Coming back to that wins list, you're building evidence to suggest that you are who you say that you are. So it's very important that we pay close attention to the language that we're using every day, because this language repeatedly backed with emotion is either going to form the empowering belief that you want, or it's going to reinforce the negative beliefs that you don't want in your life. The fourth thing that we're going to be doing is interrupting your thought patterns with mantras. And this is one of my favorites. This is very similar to the language that we've just discussed, right? As I mentioned earlier, your beliefs create your thoughts create your feelings create your behaviors, and your behaviors create your results. So whenever your mind is trying to take you down one path, it starts to drift, it starts to dive into negative thought patterns, it's getting you to think a certain type of way, you say a mantra to yourself that then starts putting you thinking in the other direction. So me, when I'm running, for example, if I'm running and I've got thoughts that come into my mind, this is a bad day, you're not capable, you can't do this, slow down, you're not worthy of this, and it's all flying in my head, just like it does, whether this is during a run, whether this is when I'm about to, speak on stage, you can have these negative thoughts just fly in your mind. I then say something to myself like a mantra. I say to myself, remember who the fuck you are. And that is just a simple reminder of look at everything that you've overcome and achieved in your life. That simple mantra, that simple phrase gets me to start thinking more positive. So if my mind is drifting and I'm thinking of all these negative things that they're coming into my mind, they're trying to take me off, and I say to myself, remember who the fuck you are, it guides my direction and focus on how I want to think. And by doing so over and over again, I think better, I feel better, I behave better, and I start getting the results that I want. And this is a powerful way to start reinforcing these new beliefs of the person that you want to become. Because you are going to have old, limiting, disempowering beliefs keep filtering in your mind, and these beliefs and these thoughts are coming in your mind every single day, and people are paying attention to them and letting them hold them back. But if you've got powerful mantras, you've got that empowering language, it shifts your focus to start focusing on who the fuck you know that you are. And that's just my one. Even B I use when my mind's drifting, when I feel doubtful, when I feel fearful, when I'm like, oh, I'm not confident, I ain't got the belief. I say to myself, B. And that stands for becoming the best version of you. Then I say, remember who the fuck you are. And then I will remind myself of my wins and evidence list. Look at everything that you've overcome and achieved in your life. How dare you doubt yourself? I believe a lot of people are suffering with, self-esteem or low self-belief. It's just because they forgot who they are. They forgot everything they've overcome and achieved in their life. And that's why we want to make sure that we're reinforcing all of these different things to make sure you start believing in yourself. And remember, self-belief is just a belief you hold about yourself, your capabilities, your worth, and your potential. And we're going to make sure that we're building empowering beliefs that support you. So the action is think of your own mantra. What can you say to yourself that resonates with you? If you're saying to yourself, I am confident, and you can't link it to any evidence or any experiences that you've had, it won't mean much because you may not have ever stepped out your comfort zone or done anything. So it's got to be something that resonates to you, that you can say to yourself that will remind you to push your thoughts in the right direction. It could be, I am getting better every day. I am on the right track to be confident if you don't feel like you're at that stage yet. But I want you to create your own mantra, and I want you to play a scenario out in your mind. I want you to think about something that you're holding yourself back from right now. And when these thoughts come in, if you say that to yourself, how does it make you feel? And then next, I want you to actually go live it this week. If you're holding yourself back from something right now, I want you to take action. I want you to step out your comfort zone. I want you to remind yourself of your mantra and take action. That's going to enable you to build more evidence to support that person that you know that you want to be, or that person that you know that you are. Number 5, I just want you to borrow the belief from me. And I'm not saying that I'm an authority. As I mentioned earlier, one of the ways that we can build belief is through authority. Someone we trust, someone we respect, someone we admire, like a parent, like a coach, like a teacher, said something to us once. And I'm not saying that I'm an authority over you, but I do want to let you know that I believe in you. Whatever you're holding yourself back from, I believe that you can overcome and achieve it. Whatever you want to be in life, I believe you can be. Whatever goal you want to go for, I believe in you. Whatever life you want to create, I believe in you. And I'm saying that because I've seen it through myself, and I've seen it through all of the people that I have worked closely with. A lot of them didn't believe in themselves until I believed in them. Just like a close friend and client of mine, Jack. Jack went from running 10K to running a half marathon, to running a 24 kilometer for 7 days, to running a marathon, to running 100 kilometer to 100 miles. And all it took was me to believe in him. He asked me the question, Jack, should I do a half marathon? I believe in you, go for it. Jack, should I do this 24/7 kilometer? I'm not quite sure, I don't believe in myself. I believe in you. Guess what? He didn't talk to me about the marathon. I believed in him from the start. And then a couple of times that I believed in him, he then started to believe in himself. He then started to experience it by running. He then started to collect more evidence to suggest that he's capable. After he got to that marathon, he booked the 100 kilometer and 100 mile by himself. That wasn't me telling him that I believe in himself. He started to believe in himself because he started to collect evidence to support he is who the fuck he says he is. But it did start with me believing in him first. So I just want to let you know, whatever you want to go for, whoever you want to be, I believe in you to achieve what you want and overcome any pains and struggles, because I've been there. I know what it's like, and I know what it feels like not to have that belief in yourself. So if you don't believe in yourself right now, at least be courageous enough to go for whatever you want, and know that I believe in you to go after what you want.